As one assumes the posture, there is a sense of relaxation. Assuming the posture, I know that right now there is nothing to do except to just be with myself. Nowhere to go, nothing to gain or lose. Simply being. With every breath, I visualize going deeper, as it were, where naturally the focus turns more and more inward. With every exhalation, every out breath, I visualize casting off thoughts and impressions that do not belong right here, right now. A subtle yet powerful practice. Every inhalation is an invitation to enter that space which I call myself, a space of the Sakshi, witness. With every exhalation, I let go of distractions, thoughts that can take me away. relaxed, unhurried practice of being here, of letting go. Now I observe the mind. Thoughts are like leaves dropping on a moving body of water. Just like leaves dropped on a river, thoughts keep moving, coming, going. I am the watcher of the mind, neither coming nor going. In this mind, I can now place the mantra for Nama Japa, practice of mental prayer. Om Ishaya Namaha. Salutations unto Ishvara. Surrender. Highlighting the connection in a mental form, intimate, personal method of prayer. Placing the mantra in the mind. The chant is started silently, making sure that the voice is not involved. The breathing is also not involved. It helps to observe the spaces between the chants, because that is where distractions tend to take place. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 Begin the chant now. Stop the chant. Repeat the chant silently after I chant. ॐ ईशाय नमः। 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 ॐ. Let the chant stop. If there was a greater immersion, it means that the exercise was successful. Now, as I chant, focus on the spaces between the chant and see how long one can remain without the thoughts. We try and elongate the period in between the chants. Om Ishaya Namaha. Om Ishaya Namaha. Om Ishaya Namaha. ॐ ईशाय नमः। ॐ ईशाय नमः। ॐ ईशाय नमः। ॐ ईशाय नमः। ॐ ॐ Now see the chant written down on a piece of paper in any language of your choice. Read it repeatedly. Let the chant stop. Eko Devah Sarvabhuteshu Gudhah Sarvavyapi Sarvabhutantaratma Karmadhyakshah Sarvabhutadhivasah Sakshi Chita Kevalo Nirgunascha. One effulgent being available in all hearts, all pervasive, the truth of everything, hidden in all beings, giver of the fruit of karma, obtaining within my body, mind, sense complex as the witness, Ishvara, in whose presence all actions takes place, itself actionless. Only thing that there is happens to be I, formless, without a second. This is my nature. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Processing this split that we have been talking about. Apyayantu mamangani vakpranaschakshushrotramatho balamindriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarot anirakaranamastvanirakaranam me astu तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Processing this split is the sadhana through Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam for moksha. Moksha praptaye. For the gain of moksha, what has to happen? The two obtaining in the heart as two, which is mithya, there is only one, but the spin-off of the jiva on its own trip has to see that all this here is one. And for that to happen, the presence of Ishvara in the universe cannot be bypassed. Many people want to look at Brahman alone, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Satchidatma, without Ishvara. They feel that, and theologies also feel that Ishvara is unnecessary. Why bother with Ishvara? Where am I coming to ultimately? Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So why bother with this entity called Ishvara? Because that is where the problem is. That is where the alienation is. One is never alienated from Chit Ananda. One is not alienated. One is alienated from what? The form of this Satchidananda that seems to have power over me. This formless Satchidananda, with its as though attributes of complaints, etc., is a spin off called Jiva, and the same formless Satchidananda with all power, all might, all everything endowed with that is called Ishvara. That is where the alienation is. Alienation of the wave is not from water. The wave, if it had a human mind, would be alienated from who? The ocean. The wave is alienated from the ocean, thinking itself to be a small wave, a tiny wave, just lapping back and forth from the shore. And it is upset. Why? It shows its history. What is the history? I was a surf, I was a breaker, I was a tsunami. Now I can barely reach the shore and come back. That's why I'm a sad, wet wave. And then suddenly it meets even smaller than itself, a cheerful wave. And it looks, what's wrong with you? Why are you so happy? No, no, no. The cheerful wave says, the question should be, why are you so miserable? That should be the question. Because look at my life history, it amounted to nothing. There was a time when I swallowed villages in their entirety for breakfast. I was tsunami, and now I don't even have the Shakti to go to the shore and come back. What are you? Where are you from? Small wave says, Indian Ocean. Are you Guru? If you think of yourself as a Shishya, yes, I am. Will you be my Guru? Sure. What should I do? There's nothing to do. In fact, doing is your undoing. No, I'm so small. I have to do something to be big. I have to bully the other waves and then become one with them so that I can look big. I have to show myself sideways so that I look big from one angle. No need. Says who? Guru wave. No need. Then what should I do? I'm so sad. I'm small. You're not small. You are the ocean. Oh. South Indian wave. Don't say that. Ocean is God. I can't be the ocean. Look how big ocean is. I'm just a small little thing inside the ocean. I'm not ocean. What are you made up of? They say I'm made up of H2O plus some salt, water. That's good, you know that. That's wonderful. What is the ocean made up of? They say it's water. See? I don't see. What is there to see? If anybody wants to touch the ocean, what do they touch? Wave. If you touch the wave, have you not touched the ocean? Yes. If you let the wave kiss your feet, you have touched the entire ocean. You don't have to go in a boat and pat the wave, pat the ocean all over the place. Then the wave is enlight. Dhanyosmi, kritakrityosmi. Why? Because wave is equated to the ocean, not part of the ocean, not a little speck of the ocean, not separate from the ocean, one with the ocean because of the teaching methodology called what? potato harvest. We saw that yesterday. What is this potato harvest? Bhaga, Tyaga, Lakshana. Lakshana, implied words. Usage of implication to understand something is called Lakshana. Definition arrived by implication indirectly. So, direct meaning of the word, bring me some water. Direct meaning. You don't have to look for an implied meaning. Bring me some Coca-Cola. It is direct meaning. Unless, of course, somebody is in a club and the word bring some Coca-Cola mixed with some water has a code word with a waiter. Meaning what? What is the water now? Some kind of alcohol, which they don't want other people to know that they are enjoying. So you give up the water, bhaga, and then what do you bring in instead? Tyaga, and then you bring in what? Alcohol. Implied meaning. Only the waiter, whose palm was greased with a lot of money under the table, knows. Okay, this is just between us. So next time, if you want a refill, he will say, more Coca-Cola for you? Yes. Dilute it a little bit. Put some water. Okay, no problem. This is Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Something is given up. Something is brought in. Something is given up. You have to give up, because if you keep the original meaning of the word water, it will not make sense. What the person will get is a diluted, terrible tasting soft drink. So you have to give up the meaning of the word water, and the word water is now redefined as what? Alcohol. You bring in alcohol, you give up water, and then it makes sense. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense at all. Similarly here, you can't retain the meaning of the word Jiva and Ishvara. You cannot. It makes no sense, because there are two different, separate, split entities. The split beginning with right here. Sometimes I have no problem behaving like Ishvara. I wake up in a magnanimous mode. Ahaha, wonderful, no problem. You want to cut me in the breakfast line? Go ahead, you must be hungry. Go right ahead. I am not perturbed. I bless everybody. In fact, I start walking like this. Don't fear when I'm here. Shubhamastu, Shubham Bhavatu, let all nice things happen to you. Magnanimous mood. That was when? Morning. By afternoon, what happens? Yeah. Yeah. Dog Janma, I remember. Territorial. Warning everybody with a growl. Lifted upper lip. Canines showing. Get out of my sight. Why are you alive? Because you are alive, I'm having so many problems. This is the Jiva. So Jiva, the word Jiva, everything that constitutes Jivatvam has to be given up to understand that this miserable excuse of a wave in the form of the Jiva, what has to be given up? Waveness has to be given up. The history of the wave has to be given up. With all its glory and its misery, the history of the wave is given up, the wavehood is given up, the waviness is given up. Here too, the jivaness is given up in the first potato harvest. So along with the potatoes, what comes? All these notions are coming. And so when everything is given up, what is there? Chaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanya. Right now, what kind of Chaitanya we enjoy? What kind of sentience? Deha avachinna Chaitanya. Prana avachinna Chaitanya. Manasa avachinna Chaitanya. Then what else? Ragadveshadi avachinna Chaitanya. So we enjoy a consciousness that is in association with, as though conditioned by the body mind sense. Body mind sense. Kartra avachinna Chaitanya. By the notion I am Karta iti. Bhoktra avachinna Chaitanya. I am Bhokta iti. This is the Chaitanya that we supposedly enjoy, within quotes. There is nothing to enjoy. I don't recognize the Chaitanya because it is mixed up with all these clumps of identifications as a result of delusion born of self-ignorance. So the teaching, what does it do? It bhagatyaga lakshanaya. So what is given up? We have to be very careful what we give up. Give up Chaitanya, retain the body mind sense complex and all the complexes. Correct? No. What do I give up? All the things that are variable. Here's the hint. You give up that which goes away. Bad mood. Give up or not? Yes. Okay. Because why? It goes away. Good mood also goes away. We know that too well. Give that up. Body. Yes or no? Yes. Mind. Actually, mind has already been given up. So that's not an issue at all. Mind has already been given up. Then senses. Yes. And then I am karta iti notion. Yes. Give up. I am agnya. I don't know myself. That notion. Give up. I am bhokta. I am the recipient of other people's omissions and commissions. I am an idiot. Definitely give that up. Give that up at the start. I'm a donkey. I'm an idiot. I am unloved. I am unappreciated. No matter what I do, I don't get anything back. I don't have friends. They don't care. All this, what do? Give it up, give it up, give it up. Why to give that up? Is this some kind of a convenient tool? Like it's like a setup in the Shastra, give this up? No. You give up whatever goes away by itself, you give up. Body goes away by itself or not? Yes. That which is subject to coming and going, you give up because that's variable. And what are we after? The invariable. Then after all this is given up, what remains? Don't say nothing. Okay? Look at the sayer, the one who says nothing, that is what remains. What is that? Sakshi Chaitanya, the Chaitanya now associated with the witnessing that nothing is remaining here except I, which is Purna, which is Shuddha, which is everlasting, which is never absent. So same thing, you beat the potatoes and then hold them in running water. All that is supposed to go goes. It's not that the dirt sticks and the potatoes leave, when you hold them in the water. It's the opposite. This is on the Jiva's side. What is the Jiva's side? 5 plus 4 in our equation. Then the same thing you have to do. So Jivatvam is given up. In short, Jivatvam is given up. And what is retained? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, Sadatma is retained. Everything is given up. 5 sense organs given up. All the Sukshma Sharira constituents given up. 5 organs of actions given up. 5 pranas given up. Because they come and go. Cognitively given up. We don't ask people to have an out-of-body experience, especially in the class. Don't do that. Then we walk over to the Ishvara's side, again cognitively, and do the same potato harvest. Oh, but there's nothing to give up in Ishvara. Nothing to give up in Ishvara, correct. But what are we looking at? Ishvara-ness, Ishvara-hood, Ishvaratvam. Ishvara-ness, Ishvara-hood. That is what we are looking at. And what is there to give up? Causality, cause of the universe. here also the same rule of thumb. What is there to give up? That which comes and goes. Causality, the status of cause. Does it come and go? Yes, because with every yuga, with everything, it comes and goes, comes and goes. Give that up cognitively. Don't count it in this equation. And then, creator of the universe. Give up or no? Yes. Resolver of the universe. Yes. Sustainer of the universe. Yes. And then what else? All the 6 bhagas we discussed yesterday. All might, all power, omniscient, omnipotent, ever present, sarvavyapi, all pervasive. Give up or no? Give up. All power, all might, everything. Can go here, can do this, can do that. All the Ichha Shakti, give up. Jnana Shakti, give up. Kriya Shakti, give up. All the Shaktis, give up. What remains? Satchit Ananda. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So 20 minus 11, what is that? 9. 4 plus 5, what is that? 9. Tattvamasi Shvetaketu. That is basically how this oneness is arrived at. It doesn't need to be arrived, it is already there. But for us, Mudhamatis, the ones who are under the spell of delusion, that I am separate from Bhagavan, this arrival has to happen with the help of Shravanam. And so this beautiful allegory here, and this the Shravanam happens, of course, with the Acharya, and this beautiful allegory here is going to describe how that happens. This is the 14th section, and in the 13th section also, a kind of all the sections are teachings, various kinds of teachings that Shvetaketu, who at 24 years old did not know the Atma, was given teaching about the Atma, did not know anything, and was given teaching about the Atma, and then he had lot of questions, and he asked for the teaching to be repeated again and again. And so this is the whole sections which describes that teaching. And so what is it that is described here? Very, very interesting. So here in the section previous to that, Shvetaketu is asked to give a bring a salt block. Now we know what salt block is, because everybody has switched over to Himalayan salt. Yeah. Some pink block will be there. Inside that you have to keep a candle, and some ions are released. They give you moksha from allergies. All these things are told. And they put you in a good mood also. All these things are told because they have to sell them. Okay. So in the olden times, that is the block that used to be rubbed on a stone in order to get the powdered salt. So that block was there perhaps in everybody's house. Shvetaketu is asked to bring a block of salt and then put it in a big drum of water, evening class during satsang. And then by the next morning class, he is asked to bring out the block. Looks like he is a little blockheaded because he actually looks for it. He rolls up his sleeves, puts his hand in the water and says, "Hey Tata, oh father, there is no block." We have to see it as an enactment, because it is impossible that somebody as bright as Shvetaketu, who had gone for 12 years in the Gurukula, will come back and not know that the basic laws of physics, the basic ways how the salt and water behave. It is impossible that he doesn't know that. So how should we take it? This is an enactment of the teaching. He is going along with the teaching. He knows that he definitely knows that the salt would have dissolved by the morning. What he does not know is, what is this trying to tell me? That he does not know. So then the teacher says, taste the top of it with a spoon. He says it is salty. Throw away the top third. Taste the middle of it. That too is salty. Throw away the middle third. Taste the bottom of it. That also is salty. This is how the Sad Atma pervades all Nama Rupas, ever present, Sarva Vyapi. Sarva Bhutantaratma. This is the teaching prior to that. Now the teaching takes a little bit of a turn, because all the centrality of the Acharya has to be established in order to make this teaching successful. The Acharya has to be there. Therefore, Acharyavan Purusho Veda. And in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there also something similar is there. The one who knows Yahatu is who? Yahatu Matraman, Pitraman, Acharyavan. The one who has parents and a teacher knows, because the first teacher is who? Mother. Second teacher is who? Father. And the third teacher is the Acharya, teacher. The word Acharya has three meanings. Asamantat Charati. So, a plus char, moves. Moves in accordance to what? How the Shastra talks about, that's exactly how the teacher moves. Moves in accordance, in keeping with the Shastra, in keeping with Dharma, in keeping with all the do's and don'ts. Swayam acharati. And then Anyan acharyati, inspires others, thereby inspiring others to do the same, to follow that same thing, and then inspires others as well to follow the path of dharma, to follow the path of atmajnanam. Then what else is there? Asamantat chinoti. So two verbs are pointed out. One is char, to move. The other one is ching, chayane, to collect, to gather. Asamantat chinoti, gathers the gems of the Mahavakya from the various Upanishads and inspires other people for Atmajnanam. This is Acharya. Acharyavan, like Bhagavan, the one who possesses the Acharya, knows. Veda, Purushaha, person knows. Why does he or she know? Because the Upanishad is confident that being around the teacher is enough. Because why? What is the teacher talking about? The teacher is not discussing recipes. Teacher is not discussing cricket or sports. What is the teacher discussing? Atmajnanam. The teacher is talking about Atmajnanam all the time. In the Mundakopanishad, it says that if you are around the teacher, whoever is around the teacher, including the milkmaid, gets enlightened. Because even while delivering milk, the teacher is saying Tattvamasi. The teacher is keeping on talking. Say that nothing else comes for the teacher, because Shrotriya Brahmanishta. So the teacher is marinating in this knowledge and inspiring others to do so as well. And so therefore the Upanishad is confident, if you have a teacher, you're not keeping the teacher locked up in a showcase, you are learning from the teacher. And so here is a very interesting allegory. You can repeat. Yatha somya purusham gandharebhyah abhinad aksham aniya tam tatah atijane visrijet sayatha tatra prangva udangva adharangva pratyangva pradmayita abhinadakshah anitah अभिनद्धाक्षः विसृष्टः. Yeah. So the state of the jiva without teacher is described at first. A very sad description. Somya, oh dear one, yatha, just as. We'll see the translation first and then we'll go into the meaning. Yatha purusham. So this person, who is this person? We have to extrapolate. The Upanishad is a lady of few words. You have to fill in the blanks. Who is this person? Some kind of a business person engaged in vyavahara, transaction, give and take in the world. So this business person, what happened? He simply was going about his day. Perhaps he had locked his shop or sold his wares and was coming home, fat in both the pockets. And then what happened? Set upon by robbers, kidnapped, given instant vairagya. From what? From the money and his possession. Maybe he was wearing a gold chain, gone. Maybe he was wearing rings, gone. Maybe he was wearing earrings, gone. So, given complete and instant vairagya from his possessions. And then what else? Blindfolded, because he should not find his way back and report on the robbers. The robbers have to make off and sell their ill-gotten wares, pawn it off. They have to go to the pawn shop and sell it. Until then, they want to buy time. So, they blindfolded him, turned him around 3-4 times so that he would not know where he was, dragged him to a forest, threw him in a ditch among the trees. This is the state of the jiva. Helpless, vulnerable, blinded. See, this is all full of rife with metaphor. Blinded, helpless, vulnerable, blinded by moha, by atma ajnana, and left to die in the forest. Fortunately, after they blindfolded him, the robbers, they ran out of cloth. Therefore, they could not gag him. If he was gagged also, we would have never had this story. But he was able to shout. Pradmayita, he shouted. He shouted, screamed, yelled. What did he say? Abhinadhakshaha aham. I have been blindfolded. I have been left to die. I don't know where Gandhara is. Gandhara is the modern Kandahar in Afghanistan. So this Afghani trader, okay, in ancient times, that time there was no Afghanistan. So this person from Gandhara. So even the wife of who? Dhritarashtra, the blind king, was from Gandhara. That's why her name is what? Gandhari, daughter of Gandhara. So then he was blindfolded, forcibly taken away from his hometown, left to die. And then what does he say? He screams. Pradmayita, screams, and he doesn't know where he is. Prangva, where is east? He doesn't know. Udangva, where is west? He doesn't know. Adharangva, where is north? Pratyangva, where is outside? Where is up? Where is down? Nothing he knows. What does he do? Pradmayita, screams. Abhinadhakshoham, I have been left here blindfolded. Anitaha, I have been forcibly brought. Forcibly brought where? To a place where I do not belong. I have been brought forcibly. I have been set upon by robbers, kidnapped and brought over here, helpless, vulnerable. Even my mobile phone has been stolen. My watch has been stolen. I don't even have a compass to see where I am. I don't know where I am. I'm blindfolded. And probably we have to extrapolate that his hands and legs were also tied. Because if he was just blindfolded, he could have opened the blindfold himself. But the hands are tied in the back and the ankles were also shackled. So this person with shackled ankles and shackled wrists with the blindfold is probably he received a blow also, just for good measure. He was cuffed in the head or in the ears and then thrown into the forest. And the robbers made off with everything he owned. From the standpoint of samsara, this is a very sad happening. They say, oh, no, you didn't deserve this. Why did this happen to you? All your money was lost. Oh my God, that's terrible. From the standpoint of a mumukshu, this is the best thing to happen to you. Really? OMG, I didn't have to work for Vairagya. Vairagya came on its own, sent by Bhagavan in the form of Naktancharaha, robbers. Naktancharaha means what? Night movers. They move at night. Therefore, the third Anuvaka of Sri Rudram says what? Namaha Naktancharebhyaha. So, the Naktancharanam Patihi, the Lord of all the beings who move about at night. So, move about at night means what? We think of hyenas, we think of owls, we think of other nocturnal beings, but we also think of robbers. Taskaraha. Taskaranam Pataye Namaha. To the Lord of the robbers. Oh, this is not an Ishvara that I want to know. I'm afraid of robbers, and now who is Ishvara? The kingpin, the gang leader of them all. That is not the idea. The one to whom the robbers go for repentance when they know the errors of the ways, of their own ways. The one who is most forgiving at this time of repentance. That is Taskaranam Patihi. Not the one who makes them into robbers, no. But there is a certain kind of a serendipity here. What is this serendipity? That serendipity, what we call serendipity, coincidence, is Bhagavan only. There is no other serendipity. This Bhagavan in the form of this Naktanchara has robbed this person completely. Nothing more, nothing to go back to. No savings, nothing to fall back on. For a mumukshu, this is a very wonderful thing because it is a upalakshana, it is figurative of how one already is. Vulnerable, that is the jiva's lot. Vulnerable, defenseless, and always having a sense of lack, always indignant. Everything has been taken away. Nobody loves me. I didn't get my fair share. I should have got this. I should have got that. I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. Why? Because I got it with my own transactions, vyavahara, give and take. But every vyavahara is fraught with what? Finitude. This the person doesn't understand. So who is in the forest? The quintessential jiva, robbed of its sanity, robbed of its possessions, and robbed of its ahankara even. Because if you are in the forest, in a compromising position with the hands, feet and face tied up like that, blindfolded, you can't say, I am a very big businessman. You don't have that ahankara anymore. Whoever comes and however they treat you, you say, please, you become a deena, helpless. Please help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. I am a businessman. Iti identification goes away. This is the pre-mumukshu. Just the ingredients of mumukshutvam are beautifully described. So the identification, I am this big businessman. And the outrage, I have been robbed, oh my God, I have been robbed, how dare they? Wait till I get rescued, and then I'll show them. That also is gone. Because what? Prangva, Udichyam va, I don't know, east, west, north, south, I don't know anything. stunned by the blows. The ahankara is also stunned, boing like that. Not knowing whether I'm coming or going, the ahankara is stunned. And when that happens, the teacher appears. The teacher appears. Very interesting. The teacher appears means what? There is a saying. What is that saying? When the student is ready, what happens? The teacher appears. This is good enough, and this is what it also illustrates. But if you are a real Vedantin, you will also say, when the student is ready, the teacher disappears into you, as you. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. The one who shows this spoof that the teacher is separate from you, Bhagavan is separate from you, it is a spoof. That separation is bridged through knowledge. There is no more separation. And so therefore the teacher disappears because the knowledge is yours, and the teacher, who is an embodiment of knowledge, is also you. No separation. And so this is the beauty of the teaching. There is no permanent student. There is no permanent teacher. The student becomes the teacher. That is the beauty of this teaching. Otherwise, it is of no use. If the teacher were to keep on teaching, and then the student were to keep on listening for eternity, that is not how this knowledge is. There is one set of 100 verses attributed to Adi Shankara called Shatashloki. And there the first verse says, it's a Mangala Charanam, it is in honor of the Guru. To praise the Guru, the first verse is there. And the first verse says, shall I compare thee? No, this is not Shakespeare, not to a summer's day. Shall I compare thee to the philosopher's stone? Do you know philosopher's stone? What is the philosopher's stone? What does it do? It turns metal into gold. Shall I compare the Guru? The student is asking the Guru, shall I compare thee, O revered one? Shall I compare thee to the philosopher's stone? As he is writing this poetry, he scratches his head and says, no, this is not an adequate example. And he changes the metaphor, just like Shakespeare. First he said, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And he says, no, summer is too hot. And then it's fleeting. No, you deserve a better comparison. So Shakespeare must have read Shatashloki. So, shall I compare thee to a philosopher's stone? Because what? Everything it touches turns into gold. He says, no. The philosopher's stone is limited. Why? Because the philosopher's stone cannot make the metal into another philosopher's stone. The philosopher's stone cannot create another philosopher's stone. The Chintamani cannot create another philosopher's stone. But you, O Guru, makes everyone into what? Guru. This is the beauty of the teaching. So, this vulnerable situation in which this jiva finds himself is what? Temporary situation. And this is how most people come to Vedanta. Most people come to Vedanta blindfolded, robbed, and thrown into the forest. Upalakshana. Helpless, hopeless, in despair, and not able to go forward without any, can't see west for east. Wherever you go, in the eastern direction there is fire, western direction I can't go because that's where the robbers have fled and I don't want to encounter them again. And in the northern direction I can't see properly. There is fog. In the southern direction, Lord Yama is waiting with a maw open. Maw means jaws. With the jaws open. So, therefore, I seek the teaching, and when the teaching is sought from this place of vulnerability, with the ahankara going, boing, I don't know where I am, I don't know who I am, then the teaching will definitely work. The ahankara has to be stunned. In order for the ahankara to be inoperable, you press the switch and nothing happens. That's what is called dysfunctional inoperable. For the ahankara to be anesthetized out of operation, what should happen? All the identifications must be robbed, taken away. This is the metaphor. All the identifications must be taken away, must be robbed. And after the identification is robbed, what happens? Then there is a sense of helplessness. So now we know what are those identifications. Those identifications, I'm so and so, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm tall, I'm this, I'm that, I am indispensable. All these feelings are covering up what? That original helplessness. So it's not that the robbers are taking away something, the robbers are just uncovering the helplessness. The robbers are, in a way, from one reading, this is not how Adi Shankara takes. We will also see how Adi Shankara takes it. In a way, the robbers are kind of angels, merciful angels that take away the identifications along with the possessions, because the identifications are also what? Possessions. Why are they possessions? Because they possess me. I don't possess them. They possess me. Because of them, I am who I am. This feeling is taken away. Blindfolded. Blindfolded means what? Before also you were not seeing. What is the use of giving you sight? Therefore, blinded. Blinded by moha. Blinded by wrong understanding of the self, of Ishvara, of the Jagat, of other jivas, of everything. Completely and totally blinded by moha. This is what even the Dhritarashtra, the archetype of Dhritarashtra in the Mahabharata is really worth studying. Blinded. And then this is moha. And his wife, Gandhari, she should have said, let me be my eyes. Your eyes, let me be your ears. Stupid lady went and blindfolded herself on the day of the marriage. Really? Mudhavati, really? Totally unnecessary. If my dear husband cannot see, I will also not enjoy sight. Stupid. Stupid decision. Most stupid decision. Okay, fine. Then you shouldn't have children. They proceeded to have not one, not two, but 101 children. Who all grew up like wild seed. Even though they were in the palace, they grew up with a sense of want. No eye contact with the parents. Yeah. Children need eye contact. They need encouragement. They need smiles. They need, they'll do stupid things. You have to keep on encouraging them. They will do the same thing 100 times. And you have to keep on appreciating till you fall asleep out of sheer exhaustion. This is what parenting is all about. And here they grew up as wild seeds. Completely with that sense of lack. So blinding is always the upalakshana for moha, refusal to see the truth. This is how the jiva is before what? Before the arrival of who? Teacher. So then we can read the bhashya also. It'll be fun. So before we go to the next one, we'll see the bhashya. You don't have to repeat. I'll just read it. Yatha loke he somya purusham yam kanchit गंधारेभ्यः जनपदेभ्यः अभिनद्धाक्षं बन्धचक्षुषम् आनीय द्रव्यहर्ता तस्करः तम् अभिनद्धाक्षम् eva baddha hastam. Yeah, baddha hastam is there. Baddha hastam aranye tatah api atijane, atigata jane, atyanta vigata jane deshe visrujet. Beautiful bhashya. Very, very, very nice. So, what does the bhashya say? Yatha means in which manner, what? In which manner um, the person, what is this person? The person was left. Left where? In the forest. In the forest, the person was left, abandoned in the forest. A thief or a set of thieves who robbed this fellow of the wealth by what? Bandaging the eyes. And from the Gandharebhyah Janapadebhyah means from the region, from that area of Gandhara. Plural because it's a general region. Might what might they do? So this Abhinadhaksham Baddhahastam. So after bandaging his eyes and tying the hands and legs, just like that, what happens? They have thrown them in the forest, where Atijana Pradeshe, Vigata Jana Pradeshe, Atyanta Vigata Jana Deshe, in a place where there are no people, not a trace of a person is there. That is where they have thrown this person, mercilessly thrown. And then what happens to the person? So then the person does not know, having lost all sense of direction. Digbhrama tatra visrjet means having thrown this person. Tatra, then digbhrama upetah, filled with what? Digbhrama. What is digbhrama? Directionlessness. Endowed with directionlessness means doesn't know whether he is going or coming, and he doesn't know where the east is, where the north is, where the south is, or where the west is. So, the yatha prang va praganchanaha prang mukho va ityarthaha तथा अधरंग वा अधरांग वा प्रत्यंग वा pradhmayita. So for good measure turns towards the east and cries out, I have been blindfolded, I have been robbed. Turn towards the west and cries out, I have been robbed, I have been brought here from Gandhara. Does anybody know the way back to Gandhara? And then what else? Then turns towards the west and cries, because he doesn't know where he is, and he hopes that in some direction the sound will carry and somebody will come to rescue him. But since he doesn't know what is west, what is east, and he doesn't know that he is in a completely Nirjana Pradesha. Nirjana Pradesha, where there is not even a trace of a human being, what to talk of anything else? There is not even a human being there, and only who is listening to him? Lions and tigers licking their lips. Yes, they are listening to him, and they are not confused whether it's west or east or so. They know exactly where the sound is coming up. And they say, what? Swiggy, we don't have to go. Home delivery has come. Yes. Packaged home delivery is there. Package means bound, Yeah. Home delivery has come. Swiggy has come. Swiggy is telling, I am here. So no need. No need to go out and hunt. No need to go to any restaurant. No need to go, because Swiggy has come. So the hyenas are licking their chops. The lions and tigers they just have to lie in wait. Maybe I'll take a nap and then go. Yeah, no problem. And so, like this, he doesn't know that maybe he's advertising himself to the wrong people. He doesn't know. He just cries out in distress. Totally cries out in distress. And then, so, pradhmayita means shabdam kuryat. Vikroshet. Vikroshet means cries out. What does he say? My eyes have been bandaged. I have brought here from Gandhara, and by these thieves. I have been left here all on my own. Help! Help! Save me from this fate. Please help. This is the condition. Condition of who? The mumukshu before Atmajnanam. The newly minted mumukshu sees the truth of all these false identifications, mithya identifications, only when they are in the danger of going away or they are gone away due to some external factors such as disappointment, pain, sorrow, etc. And finding oneself helpless doesn't make a mumukshu, because then you can seek help in different ways. You go to the bookstore and then say what I should do. DIY section. What is DIY section? Do it yourself. Yeah. Because everybody is apne aap. I want to do it myself. I don't want to rely on anybody. I'm a self-made woman. I'm a self-made man. Big pain in the neck this self-made man is. Yes. Jealous of his own children. Why? Because I'm self-made. See, I didn't have anything. I studied under the street light. Maybe he did that once, but he'll never let you forget it. And then what else will he say? I had only 2 pairs of clothes. One was hanging on the tree to dry. Another one was on my skin. One day I had dal and rice. The next day I had rice and dal. And all of you, he's addressing the children. Look at you, how much you spend. I have sacrificed. First he'll say, I have sacrificed something so much for you, ingrates. I have sacrificed so much. Look at you spending. Look at you enjoying. And they are confused. They say, Dad, it's for us you did this, right? This is what it is. Self-made man forgets that body was given, mind was even to shout and complain was given, senses were given, 2 sets of clothes were given, dal and rice was given, rice and dal was given, street light to study under, given. There's no such thing as self-made. The ahankara has to understand that. It's not for want of trying that we don't leave samsara. We leave samsara not because of ourselves, but in spite of ourselves. The decision to leave samsara comes in spite of ourselves, not due to ourselves. No. Here we can't take any credit at all. In spite of ourselves, we leave samsara because of some good punya, as Adi Shankara will point out, some good punya coming one's way. Until the dying breath, the ahankara will try all kinds of gimmickry to get back into a place of authorship, doership, knowership, controller. It wants to be the controller. It wants to be in a place of power. Even if it's stunned to powerlessness by a temporary loss, it will get up. It will get up repeatedly, and then comes a time, thanks to some punya, what happens is that it cannot get up. And it understands that even if I get up, it will be like all other disappointments. There is something other than this ahankara that needs to be understood. What is the source of this ahankara, the truth of the ahankara? I am blind to that. I have to understand that only comes when all other options run out, like for our businessman, the protagonist in this story. All options are gone, cannot get up, legs are bound, cannot unblindfold himself. What is that? The eyes are gone, hands are gone. And then beaten up by robbers. The cloths that he was wearing is torn to shreds, perhaps. And all the money is gone, not even enough money to catch a bus to the nearest town. Nothing is there. That is when the mumukshu is ready for knowledge, if the mumukshu recognizes that. These are the raw materials for the mumukshu. Then the next one. तस्य यथा अभिनहनं प्रमुच्य प्रब्रूयात् एतां दिशं गन्धाराः एतां दिशं व्रज इति सः ग्रामात् ग्रामं पृच्छन् पंडितः मेधावी गन्धारान् एव उपसंपद्येत. So, tasya, for this person, yatha, just as for this person, abhinahanam, nah, to bind, fourth conjugation, nahyati. So, naddhaha, past participle, past perfect, naddhaha, bound, nahanam, bondage, abhinahanam, all round bondage. Yatha tasya abhinahanam pramuchya, having released the abhinahanam, having released the bondage, prabhruyat, kaschit, whoever released the bondage, somebody came. We have to supply. As I said, the Upanishad just gives a little glimpse of what is to happen. We have to supply. What do we have to supply? Somebody comes. Somebody actually hears him even in that lonely place, without people, without where he is thrown. Somebody actually hears him, understands his plight, comes and removes the blindfold, removes the bondages from the hand and feet, dusts him off from all the dirt and the dry leaves, and orients him towards Gandhara and says, Etam disham, this disha, this direction is your home. Please start walking here. This is the way to go. And then getting this instruction, gramat gramam prichanna. So he stops at the village because he's tired of walking, and then he asks, am I on the right way? Is this the way to Gandhara? Prichan, keeping on asking, am I headed the right way? Yes, please keep going here. And he is told, and then with that he keeps on proceeding. Upasampadhyeta, upasamipe, he then goes to Gandhara. Gandhara is no longer away from him. He reaches his destination. Who is that person? Panditaha, Medhavi. Panditaha means a very learned person. Medhavi. Medhavi means who? Again, the one who has Medha. Win. Medha plus win. Meaning, if you have Medha, you win. Yeah, that's all it is. Medha win. The one who is endowed with Medha. Medha means Grahana Shakti, the ability to grasp. Retention Shakti, the ability to retain what one has grasped. And the ability to share with others what one has grasped and retained. All three are called Medha. Having all three, he then successfully, effortlessly, asking in the villages just to be sure he's on the right way, goes to Gandhara, on the way doing Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. We'll see more when we come next time. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.